Is there anybody joining us by telephone? Nancy, are we on the telephone? Okay. All right. Well, we will go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. It is September 9th, and we're meeting for our Human Resources Personnel Changes. It's 11:04 a.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks and Duncan. Are there any changes to the agenda? All right, hearing none, our first business meeting or business item is request for higher duty pay for assessor administrative staff, and that would be Bela Kovacs.
Commissioners, Bela Kovacs, Kootenai County Assessor for the record. I have a memorandum that I submitted to the board dated August 19th. Due to the short staff, we have a situation in our front office as well as the commercial specialized division. We've had employees step up to perform some additional duties. There is a provision in Kootenai County policy number 120, that provides for higher duty pay. This request has been submitted to the board with two approvals of two commissioners to get on the agenda. We have done a projection. This is a budget neutral or revenue neutral request, and it's proper that we compensate the employees for doing that. So I respectfully submit this as a request to the Board of County Commissioners.
All right, and do we have starting times? Is that what's listed on the projections?
Yes.
June 6th, June 8th, July 5th,
Yeah,
and August 8th.
There are varying dates for each individual, but yes.
Okay.
And I would like to add that we are moving rapidly to get the vacancies filled. We anticipate that we will be doing that either by the end of this month or depending upon the availability of the personnel that we're making offers to. It could go a little bit into the next part of fiscal year. So if that were to happen, I'd have to come back to the board and make a subsequent request for higher duty pay for these same individuals.
Sure.
We're going to try to mitigate that to the greatest extent possible. I hope that's not going to happen, but just alerting the board to that situation.
Okay. And so, Brandy, you are aware of the starting dates that we will make it retroactive to? Thank you.
And they would, Commissioners, this would be done as stipends.
Oh, okay.
It'd be much easier from an accounting perspective and payroll perspective. So
Okay.
we're going to do them as stipends based on the number of hours that they work, the projection that Brandy has put together. So we would do that,
Okay.
not go back to their pay period in June and
Okay.
make all those adjustments.
Okay. All right, so do you have any questions, Bill? Okay. Are you all right with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
Would you like me to make the motion?
Sure.
Okay. I move that we approve the request for higher duty pay for the assessor administrative staff as outlined on the projection sheet with the stipends effective for the time frame outlined.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right, that motion passes. And item number 2, request for higher duty pay, patrol deputy to temporary sergeant KCSO. And is that is our undersheriff?
That's correct. Brett Nelson on behalf of the Sheriff's Office.
Excuse me?
We recently had a sergeant leave for FMLA duty, and pending a workers' comp will be out for some length of period of time. This has caused a vacancy in our patrol supervision pool, which has led to 12-hour shifts and overtime by both patrol sergeants and other lieutenants. For purposes of managing not only our overtime budget, but also our time off, accrual times, we're seeking to have a deputy fulfill a lead deputy position in the temporary position to at least through the end of the year, calendar year, to fill this vacancy. He will be going from a intermediate step 8 patrol deputy to a sergeant intermediate step 1 for pay. A review by HR and both the auditor's office found this to be budgetary neutral for the remainder of fiscal year 22 and fiscal year 23 of those remaining months.
Okay. And then the salary savings is still effective even though we've used it for retention bonuses?
This was counted in through year-end retention bonuses.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
No.
All right. And it's effective pay period 20 is when you want it to be.
We're hoping we are hoping for this Sunday, the sooner the better.
Okay, is that pay period 20 then?
Correct. I believe it is.
Okay,
Pay period 20, did you say?
yeah. All right. Do you want to make that motion?
Yeah, sure. I move that we approve the request for higher duty pay for the patrol deputy to temporary sergeant effective pay period 20.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion passes. And number 3, pay adjustment request for civil deputy technicians, and that is Captain Andy Deek.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
Approximately a month ago, I was here for an agenda item of similar notation. What we are requesting, we have 2 employees in our civil deputy technician office, the civil office, that are both county employees of 5 and 7 years respectively in their positions. They are currently making less than somebody that we hired in July, June or July, was it? The person that we hired was qualified to come in at the rate that they did. It didn't create compression. They were making more than these people that are now training the new person as well. And we were asking for a pay adjustment to bring them to what would be market in their respective positions. HR has run the numbers as well as the auditor's office, moving them from a pay grade 5, step 2 and 3 to a pay grade 5, steps 4 and 5.
5 and 4.
5 and 4, yeah. It is budget neutral for FY '22, and there's an increase of, I can't read the number here.
Looks like 9,100 for FY
FY
'23.
'23, yeah.
Yeah. Brandy, any issues with doing it right now after the budget's been approved, adopted, and all that?
It'll just be unbudgeted, but they'll probably have enough salary to say, well, actually, no, but it's staff, so it might go a little bit over next year.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, just, well, and that's gonna go into our talk later in the agenda, so. I don't have a problem with this because it was pared down from quite a few requests to only the request that is, disparate impact, is the issue on this particular one, so, I'm fine with this going forward.
I am too.
Okay.
And commissioners, this would be retro to July 5th of
July
2022.
5th.
Thank you.
Okay.
Retroactive to what?
July 5th.
July 5th, 2022.
Okay.
Yep. So you want to handle
Sure.
that?
I move that we approve the pay request for civil deputy technicians with HR and KCSO back to July 5th, 2022.
Second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right, that motion passes. Item number 4, county assistance reclassification as a result of restructure, and that would be our clerk, Jim Brannon, and our chief deputy clerk, Jennifer Locke.
I'd like to turn it over to Dorothy first, please.
Fine, Dorothy.
So, because of the reclassification and restructure, they did send in new job descriptions. I have done a review of them. What we're asking is for you to adopt, one of them, it doesn't change at all, it stays at a grade 5. One, it does change from a grade 10 to a grade 7. So we are asking for you to adopt that grade. Then it will be up to Jim and Jennifer to talk about what the impact that has on pay.
Okay. Any questions with the reclassification?
No.
Okay. I will take a motion if you're ready for
Okay.
that.
I move that we approve the county assistance reclassification as a result of restructuring.
A second.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye, that motion passes. So number 5, county assistance restructure and resulting pay adjustments. Now, Clerk Brannon.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Duncan. As we go into specifics about money, I would ask that we might want to go into executive session for this discussion.
Okay, that is fine. Let me, look
And you're gonna
here.
talk about specific performance issues.
I'm going to talk about the money only.
So, yeah, so I don't know that that's, if we're not talking about the person in the position and their job
Right.
performance, then we can
Then
probably,
that's fine. The grade that came back, thank you, I just wanted to make sure we didn't go over the line here. The grade that came back was a 7, as Dorothy indicated. The person involved is a long-term employee and has done great work for the county over many years. Unfortunately, I'm not coming to you and saying I want a 7 going to a 10. I'm coming the other way. That is going to affect the person adversely in salary, approximately $2.80 an hour, or just over $5,000 per year. And the position will go from being exempt to hourly. So you should have a chart on the county assistant's reclass. And so I would ask regretfully that you approve this reclass because it's based on the position and not the person.
right. Okay, I don't think there's anything else that we need to do. I mean, it's just what it is at this point. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. All right, you want me to take this one?
Sure, if you'd like to.
All right, and this will start at the new budget year? I mean, does it need to?
9/25.
So, okay, so you don't need it to start next pay period, you want it to start 9/25? Okay, perfect, thank you. I move that we approve the county assistance restructure and resulting pay adjustment effective 9/25/22.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right, motion carries, and I would like to move item 6 after item 8 because we have a couple executive sessions, and that way we can just go in once and then come out after that. So if that's agreeable, Bill? All right, so item number 7, approval of FY23 salary increases. Sylvia?
Alrighty, we are seeking approval of salary increases by employee for individuals in the general pay plan, attorney pay plan, chief deputy pay plan, sworn officer matrix, and we do have the elected officials on that schedule that we have for you, although you've already approved those salaries. The approval of the increases relate to the wage study and the cost of living adjustment, and we have been asking for this to be effective 9/25/22, which is pay period 21. All other personnel changes that the board had approved, such as reclassification, additional steps, position conversions, we're proposing that those go into effect pay period 22, which starts 10/9/22. So what we would do is HR will bring back those reclassifications for formal approval by the board based on policy 600. So although you've approved it in the budget, we still need to do our due diligence with following our processes there. An overview of the salary increases, they were calculated for each eligible employee based on the approved budget and wage adjustments in the COLA. Approximately $8.1 million was approved for these changes. What we would do is if it's approved by the board, we will send out schedules to each of the department heads and elected officials starting next week. I do want to extend a special thank you to the commissioners for your commitment to the employees and really making this a priority so that we can attract and retain our talented workforce. And that's all I have. Questions?
I don't have any questions. Bill?
I don't.
Okay. So it's more than just this list, right? I mean, it's
a 33-page document that you'll be signing off on for approximately 850
employees.
somewhere around their employees.
Okay. All right, Bill, are you ready for motion?
Yes, yes. Excuse me. We're doing 8 now? No,
For 7.
7.
Yeah.
I move that we approve FY '23 salary increases.
Second.
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan,
Aye. All right, motion passes. Okay, item number 8, process for filling positions funded at 50% for FY '23. Brandy, I don't know if you have that number. Was it 50 positions, 60 positions? I forgot how many positions over.
6 to 50s. It's
Yeah,
in the
it's.
50s.
Oh, in the
It's
50s?
about 55. It did
Okay.
count. Approximately 55 positions were funded at 50% based on being open for 100 days or more. So there's several departments that are about ready to do some hiring, and we just wanted to clarify what that process is and how the board envisions that occurring, because we know funding is at 50% versus the 100%.
Yep. So last year, I remember, and hopefully I'm recalling correctly, that we went ahead and said, hire everybody you can, and then come back to us in April, and we'll look at the salary and where we're at. Because in my mind, nobody's going to be able to fill those 55 positions plus what is open less than 100 days. So it worked out fine last year. As a matter of fact, we had millions in salary savings. I'm hoping we don't have that much this year. But those 55 positions, if detention or clerk's office or how many ever have those 100-day positions, they should go and try to aggressively hire as much as they can. Chances are attrition and just turnover is going to continue. So April, we can take a hard look at this again and say, okay, how many of those 100-day positions have been filled, and where are we looking at under the individual EOs in their salary section. So for me, there's no restriction on hiring. Just please get the bodies in the seats so we can provide good service. Okay.
Okay?
And I think that's more of a direction than an action to
Yeah.
proceed. I mean,
That's fine. And then, Bela, you wanted to chime in on this?
Yes, Commissioners. I have a question on that because I have a number of situations like that that are dealing with this issue. And the question in my mind is, if we're making an offer, technically, do we offer at the 100% salary? Or do we, you typically want to have the offer letter stipulate the rate
Yeah,
of pay.
it's just a regular position. You're just hiring for that position. So there's nothing unusual, nothing out of the ordinary. We'll look at it in April to see where we're at overall per elected official, to see, because chances are, if you hire all those positions that are open over 100 days, you're going to have other people changing jobs, retiring, and all that.
So even though it's technically at 50% rate now, we can offer it at the 100%.
Right, you would hire as you normally would as if it was fully funded, and right now policy says up to 97% of market.
Okay.
So,
that answers my question.
yeah, it's just your budget doesn't have the full amount in it.
Yeah. So, all right, so everybody's got direction on that. And now we can hop back to item 6, which is a reduction in force for parks and waterways. And I believe we need to go into executive session. So, Bill, would you make that motion?
Sure, I move that we enter into executive session.
Second?
Bill Brooks,
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right.
Will you guys be
Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah, gotta sign back in. There, I'm live.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is now 11:55, and I move that we exit executive session on item number 6 per code 742061B with staff to proceed as discussed, and also as for number 9, the 742061B to exit with staff to proceed as discussed.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Duncan.
Aye. All right. That sums up the business section of our agenda. Is there public comment? Hearing none, then I say that 11:55 and 11:56 meeting adjourned.
I was gonna say.